Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Gold Mine. I want to thank you for joining us. Let's get into Business Assistant. Are you looking for publicity or press, whether you are looking to hire someone to do your publicity and press for you, or whether you want to learn it yourself in DIY, do your own, you can go to PamPerryPR.com. Not only does she have services that helps you to publicize your business, but she also has podcasts and blogs and articles on her website that can help you with publicity. She also interviews guests on her website that gives you insight on publicity and the best way to go about doing publicity for your business, whether you're just beginning or whether you've been in it for a while. So again, if you're looking for publicity, whether you're looking to hire a publicist, you're willing to hire a team to do your publicity for you, you can go to PamPerryPR.com. Not only do they do the work for you, but they also have coaching and consulting services where you can ask questions. She can take a look at your business, your websites, your social medias, and give you some tips on how to better do your publicity. She also has DIY, as I said, where they can teach you how to do it for yourself. And then, of course, they also have social media audit, where they take a look at your social media platforms to see what you can do better, what you're doing well, and what you can do better. Again, that's PamPerryPR.com for more information. You can also subscribe to her emailing list, where she, again, gives out insight. And she also has sometimes webinars with special guests on with expertise of PR to give you more insight and more ideas on better publicity and PR for your business. Again, that's PamPerryPR.com, and that is it for Business Assistant. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with our interview with John C. Morley after this message.
Hi, I'm John Morley, CEO and founder of the J. Moore Connection. And devastating technology challenges don't just happen in facilities like this one. They happen in your corporate offices or even in your own homes. We just don't play games like the superstores. We fix your technology problems right the first time. Give us a try. Reach out today. 877-767-5667 or chat with us at jmor.com.
Welcome back to The Gold Mine. Up next is my interview with John C. Morley. Let's take a listen. So my first question for you, were you born in an entrepreneurial family or environment?
Yes. At a very young age, my dad, first of all, was working for a very large company, but he had taught me early on that, we need to make our own businesses and create more than just a company that we work for. And so it started with my mom's company. She actually started a dry cleaning plant. Then she started a planning business, doing all kinds of plant care. And I knew when I probably was only in third or fourth grade that I didn't want to work for somebody. That maybe I wanted to work for somebody for, maybe a short period of time. And I actually did. I worked for the government when I came out of school, and I quickly learned because of the way they were treating me and that they didn't appreciate my skills, that I needed to, distance myself from them because I was never going to grow. And the one thing I learned, Casey, was that one of the best things that can happen in life is to be part of something so that we can all help each other become a better version of ourselves. And the day that I left there, I actually thanked them for all their time and everything. And they thought I was nuts. And I said, thank you so much for helping me realize this at a young age and helping me to become a better version of myself and helping you become a better version of yourselves. And they just thought I was crazy.
So what was your first business that you founded, and why did you feel the need to start that business?
So when I was in college, I noticed a lot of people having technology challenges, whether it be professors, or whether it be students. At that time, installing all types of DOS games was very popular then. And I just realized that, people were getting misinformation, they were getting ripped off, and I just wanted to help people. So I started a very simple business because you're allowed to do that without making a lot of money. And I just started something not even formal. And I did consulting. Basically, it was $10 on site, didn't matter what the time was, and $5 on the phone. And if I didn't solve the problem, you didn't owe me anything. And so it just got me very passionate into this. And then I got very inspired by one of the latest products that came out. It was called Prometheus, which is it's like a modem, but it had voicemail in it for like a home user. So I was very into this product. The product had listed for, I don't know, somewhere around $300 or $400. And I was determined to get this product for the lowest price possible, because I said, if I could do that, I know that I could sell it. And then I did some research and I found out that the product was a lot cheaper, but I needed to get something. It was called a tax ID number. Didn't know what that was. I quickly learned that that is something that creates a tax liability and allows the company to sell you something without tax. Well, once that happened, the Pandora's box opened, and I said, you know what? I think I have to start a company now. And I have to get a tax exempt number. I have to get a federal ID number. And so the whole process started. And then I just started consulting with people. I helped them right out of college. It was just very basic. But after college, I did take this government job. And then I had a few clients on the side that wanted me to fix their computers, get rid of spyware for them, and just kind of give them, some advice on where to go. And I really enjoyed it. Even at the government, I helped them do all kinds of things. I actually helped the government save quite a few $1,000s. And then I realized I wasn't appreciated. And I said, you know what, John? You need to get out of this. You need to do something where people appreciate you and you can deliver value. That's what I'm all about, Casey, is delivering value even today. Obviously we're all in business to make money, and I get that. But now being a serial entrepreneur, it's always about trying to do what people need before they ask for it. Thus, I became an engineer, and having the technology company was my very first start. After the technology company, I realized that about 7 or 8 years ago from about now, I realized when I had one of the largest marketing companies trying to advertise my company, they didn't know what they were doing. And I quickly fired them. I didn't know what I was doing either in marketing, but I failed for the first 2 years. And then I decided I needed to start a full-blown marketing print production company in-house. I went for my first loan to get a print production system from Xerox. And just last year, I actually built my first official print production graphics center. We couldn't open because of COVID, but it's something when you understand a business from an owner's perspective, it's different than when you just go to somebody who doesn't know the industry. And so I try to understand everybody's business, even if it's not in the technology space, and I give people honest advice about what they should do.
All right. So when starting out, name a mistake you remember making that you learned from.
Okay. Made a few, I'm sure that's not, that's
Right.
pretty common. But the one that the one that really comes to mind right now, and I think I really had not really fully mastered it until a few years ago, which is going to sound crazy. The first part of my business, you start working basically in your business, because that's what you do when you start a business. But as you grow, you need to work on your business and less in it. Otherwise, it won't really grow because you're the only one working. What I learned is that there's a lot of people out there, Casey, unfortunately, that may not support your vision, may not support your dream. If everyone in the world likes me, now a lot of people like me, don't get me wrong, but if everyone likes me 100% of the time, then John Morley is not being the best that he can be. He's not bringing his A game. So when people are trying to challenge me, or people are trying to, do things to try to, I don't want to say sabotage, but they're trying to be more than overly competitive, I know that I'm bringing my A game. And if that's not happening, then I need to step it up, because I need to do much better. And so I've learned that when other people don't like what you're doing, just keep on what you're doing. Everyone doesn't have to be your friend. It's just business.
Right. Good. Any tips you can give to people on conquering fear? Because that's definitely a reason why many people are not entrepreneurs, even though they have the mind to do it.
Yeah. So, whether it's in app development or whether it's in marketing or whether it's in graphic design or whether you're an architect or whether you're an engineer and you start out, it's a lonely road, right? Like I was telling you, you're going to have people that don't always support you. Now, your family always supports you no matter what. But the one thing your family always wants is they want the best for you, right? They always want you to be the best you can be. So if you're not the best yet, they're a little impatient, right? They don't understand that you have a dream. And that took my parents a while to understand too. Oh, go work for a big company. Go work. I'm like, but Dad, that's not what's in my heart. Well, forget about what's in your heart. You need to make money. I'm like, the money will come. Just do what you're passionate about. All right, you do what you have to do. And I guess the thing what I can tell people is, fear, as we know, is false evidence appearing real, right? It's not really there. If you have a fear, whether it's a lot of times people are fearful because they're going to be too successful and they don't know what they're going to do. So what I tell people to do is if you have a fear, write that fear down on a piece of paper. Okay? See what that fear is about. And realize that other people have probably had that same fear. Maybe it's a fear of public speaking. I joined Toastmasters many years ago. Find out what your fear is and learn how did other people in your field conquer that fear. Maybe it's a fear of people. Maybe it's a fear because the industry you're in is overwhelming you. Okay, then take that in nuggets, but just put them down on a piece of paper. What I always tell people, whether it's software, whether it's a project, the whole thing doesn't get built overnight, right? It gets built in stages. So when you're in business, you need to take everything in compartments. And if you could just address one of those fears, let's say in a week or two, and address it, you're going to see that most of these fears actually fall into the ditch before they actually would ever pop up anyway. So just realize that everything is a compartment. And if you treat it like that, they're basically going to go away.
All right. How many businesses at the moment do you have, and what are some tips on how to maintain and manage them all, obviously at the same time?
So that's always a juggle, right? So I have the technology company, which is JMOR Connection, jmor.com, which is now celebrating 30 years young. That's always been my passion. But I knew that to keep that growing, you need a marketing company. So I built a marketing and print production company called Neighborhood Publications, ourprintconnection.com. The first company, the IT, we make IT easy. The second company, we give your business a voice through print, through voice, through data, through websites, through content creation, through coaching, through LinkedIn branding, helping people understand that it's about a relationship, not a sale. The other company I started just because I wanted to, couldn't do anything with it now because of the pandemic. I have my own food company called Neighborhood Concessions. And it's a small company, but I have my own recipe for a 7-kernel healthy popcorn recipe. And then we do the typical healthy cotton candy, which of course has no calories and is always good for your teeth. So we have that, and we sell candy bars and stuff. And that's kind of fun because my parents like to help me out with that. And even though it doesn't make a ton of money, it's fun. And sometimes you do a business because of that reason. I am launching a few other things right now. I just started another business online, which is basically gearing people with the pandemic and helping people understand about the fact that we need to be meeting virtually, virtual events. So I try to come up with a company with a purpose, but when you come up with a company, you can't just think about it. You have to really brainstorm, what's the purpose? Just because I want a company, it has to make sure that there's a need for it in the market. So as far as tips go, how do you balance them? Well, that's a great question. I think the one thing you have to do, Casey, is you have to be organized. You have to realize that in order to have companies like this, you're going to have to make sacrifices in the beginning. Your social life, you're going to have to make some choices to, when you do stuff. Like the one thing about being a serial entrepreneur, your day you would say is 9 to 5, but to be honest with you, it's not. And I actually enjoy that. I get up in the morning and I'm doing my quotes or I'm doing my stuff in the morning, my interactions early in the morning. And then 6 o'clock, maybe I'll take a shower, have breakfast. And then sometimes you'll work late at night and sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll work weekends. So the tip is this: if you are looking to work 9 to 5, don't become an entrepreneur, because that's not an entrepreneur business. You have to realize that your business is a service. And if you're somewhere, whether it's at a wedding, well, now there's not too many of those, or whether you're on a street corner or you're outside walking, you're at the gym, not that you're always selling, but you're always looking to have a dialogue with somebody. So I don't mean saying, oh, gee, we do this and do that. No, it's about having a conversation, learning about what they do, them learning about what you do, and strive to become more interested in the other person and less about what you are. You're not important. Worry about them first, and you will become important. A very good quote I learned from Dale Carnegie: how to win friends and influence people.
Okay. So my last question for you today, somewhat off topic. If there was an entrepreneur you can meet to have a conversation, and they can either be dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh boy. The person that I would really like to meet, either virtually or in person, because of obviously the pandemic, I would have to tell you one person I would like to meet would be Elon Musk. I have learned a lot from him, but I didn't really know that I learned it from him until a while ago. I remember what I told you about people, always wanting things to be their way. And I encountered some of the same challenges he did when he was starting. You get that resistance. And so I feel that, we would click very well because we have some very similar goals, and we always have a vision to make things better. So he's the one person. And the second person I want to tell you that I would love to meet, he's not alive anymore. And that would actually be Jim Rohn or Brian Tracy. Those would be the other, because I followed them for my entire life. And I believe, Casey, the other thing is that you have to keep learning. If you have closed your school books and decided that school's over when you've left school, well, then go work for a company, because you have to keep making yourself better and raising the bar every day. If you can't do that, and if you can't take the pressures of society and what's going to happen, don't become an entrepreneur. But if you do take that path and you can work on yourself and you can understand that there's a lot of rewards, it's only going to get better. But it's lonely in the beginning until people get to understand who you are and what you do, because everyone, as you know, wants to be part of a winning team. No one wants to be part of a team that loses.
Well, that is all the time we have for you today on The Gold Mine. I want to thank our guest, John C. Morley, for joining me and sharing his journey and his insight. And of course, I'd like to thank you, the audience, for taking the time to watch and listen. Have yourself a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to share.